Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Gourmet Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. Joined alongside Emilio in Tennessee. We got Tim in Green Bay, Wisconsin, here to talk some Packers tonight. We're going to talk top 10 coaching candidates, all right? I say candidates. I say top 10 coaches according to the PFF rankings, all right? We're going to talk quarterbacks, where the quarterbacks are ranked, where Jordan Love specifically ranks. Talk a little bit about the passing game. We're going to get into some LV and chalk talk. Before we do, let's give a shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Omer, a.k.a. Goot Hater 101. We got United Bates. We got Joseph in the house. Clint, the armchair quarterback. Ron Samble. Mr. Larry Cano. Everybody sit up straight. Larry's in here. We got Ed Madden. Daryl in Alaska. Bunch of people following in, man. Appreciate everybody. Chuck Jaggers. I think I said that one. Maybe I didn't. Hardy the Prophet, good to see you, buddy. We got Blake B. A-Fam's mom in the house.
Oh, early showing.
What?
Hello, sweetheart. How are you?
A-Fam's mom's got it going on.
We got Bruce in here on X. Appreciate you, buddy. Good to see you in here, man. Jonathan in the house. We got Elijah Gwynn. What's up, man? Trying to read what he says without reading it. Let's see. Let's hit it anyway. Let's hit it. Elijah Quinn says, "Hey Clayton, do you think the Iran peace deal spills over to the coach rankings, or more importantly, do they affect Jay Love's legacy?" It's a great question. Put it on the poll. Let's poll that one tonight, guys. Elijah, you're out of control.
I'm not going to. So quit asking.
And we got Holmes MD1 in here with the AFAM emoji there. So I love how Bates gave a shout out to Omer at the beginning of the chat there this evening. How we doing, fellas? Everybody good? We good?
I'm good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Beautiful day. Tim, how about yourself?
Hey, living the dream, man. Happy to talk some ball. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. Let's jump into some Patreon questions real quick. We'll do the best we can with these in rapid fire session. Andy Monday said, what odds does Vegas put on Jair being a Ravens captain for only 1 week this season, week 17 versus Green Bay? You think they'll do that? You think they'll make him a captain?
I think he'll just walk out there, you know?
I think it doesn't matter if they make him a captain. He's going to be anyway, right? Andy Monday also said, could you find gentlemen review the conversion percentages on 3rd and 4th downs in 2024 with down and distance splits, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, with both running and passing efforts if possible? That'd be a tough one to do, Andy. I don't think we'd be able to put all that together.
Weren't we gonna maybe look at 3rd downs if we had a time, a little chalk talk at 3rd downs?
And I tried to pull them and was going to literally just put them in rapid, in order. Boy, there's a bunch. I think the only way to do it would be to go game by game, or maybe like 4-game increments. Might be able to pull it off that way. Yep. Yeah, but we need to do that because I do want to get it down to, all right, what went wrong on these specific plays, right? Especially the incompletions anyway.
Yeah.
Randy Cleavers in the chat said, Clayton, do you think that PFF doesn't like our edge rushers? They seem to have conflicting grades on them constantly. Randy, it's kind of a tough question to answer because
I got an answer for it.
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
There you go. The problem I have with PFF, and you guys know I've been very vocal, Randy, I don't believe they're out to get the Packers. I don't believe that at all. Right? I don't think they're just like, hey, let's make the Packers seem like they're worse than they are. Now, it doesn't help that if you go back and search PFF's Twitter account for Rashawn Gary, they dogged the hell out of Rashawn Gary when he came out in the draft. Now, it was years ago, right? But they were saying Chase Winovich was the better edge rusher, or the better defensive lineman, I should say, out of Michigan. Obviously, Chase Winovich ain't even in the league anymore. So that looks kind of bad, and I can understand how that would upset Packer fans. But the problem we have, Randy, there's no way to get a legitimate answer to your question. And the reason being is they don't back it up with the tape. They don't back it up. They ain't got to back up with the tape. Just back it up with a timestamp. Hey, we gave this grade for this particular play, that type of thing. But they won't even do that. It's just kind of.
It seems like I don't know, almost like a dictatorship, right? Here's our numbers. This is what we came up with, and we don't have to provide any, evidence or anything to support it.
Exactly. And even that, Tim, if they would just provide who graded it,
right?
Like this person broke these plays down.
Absolutely.
And then you could do what Michael Lombardi talks about, Emilio. I know you used to listen to the GM podcast, GM Shuffle, when he was on there. What did he always say? Who's evaluating the evaluator?
Yep.
Who's grading the grader? Like who is the person that says, yes, this person is qualified to grade the tape? That's there's no one there to the best of our knowledge. So
no, and I was listening. I want to say it was a PFF pod, and I could have swore I heard them talking about like, yeah, well, Hafley's kind of got a different defensive scheme there. They're not, always rushing force. So some of the numbers, and I was like, whoa, was that like a little notice? Like, okay, maybe the numbers aren't exactly what we see or anything, or what we think we should see. But I do think that it's tough. Obviously, it's nice to have a number to look at, but
right,
it's just you got different ways of looking at it, really.
Yeah, and that's why we always we will use PFF. It's just another system we can use, something to kind of bounce the tape off of and say, okay, PFF said this, and more times than not, I will say this, way more times than not, do I find myself going, yeah, I think that grade's pretty fair.
Right.
It's rare that you'll see the grades from a game and then watch the tape, go back and study the film, and come away going, boy, they really got that one wrong.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like when you look up at the end of the year and you're towards the top of the league in certain statistics, certain measurements, certain metrics, and their grades are horrible in that regard, that don't make sense.
Like the specifics that gets us, right? Like you'll see a guy that gets he'll grade out even week to week, right? He'll grade out low overall, and then he'll have high grades in, pass rush. He'll have high coverage grades, all these other specifics, but then the overall is super low. And then there's no reasoning behind why that is. And that's, I think, where we get the, the discrepancy in what we're looking at. That's why, PFF is just a part of the overall, analysis, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Willie, for the super chat. He said, let's go. Appreciate you jumping in here tonight, man. If you all would, hit that like button for us, subscribe to the channel, do all those YouTube things for us. We greatly appreciate it. If you want to join the YouTube community, you'll see a join tab there. That'll enter you into the giveaways, which we're going to start implementing those again, along with our Patreon community. If you want to support the show, the best way to do so is join our Patreon community, where you can get access to our chats, be a part of the community, and get exclusive content over there as well. We're going to be giving away an autographed rookie card, Kingsley Enagbare, this Saturday or Sunday. Probably Sunday would be the best time to do it. So what we'll do is put everybody who's a member on the wheel, spin that sucker, and give it away to whoever's name it lands on. So again, thank you so much for the super chat there, Willie. We appreciate you, buddy. Andy Monday with the final question/comment said, could you do a PFF comparison between our cornerbacks and the cornerbacks that were available as free agents this offseason? My apologies if you've answered this in previous pods. I just want a clearer picture of what we have to build off of in the cornerback room. I'm sure some fans think that that had we drafted a cornerback early, then that would have solved the issue. But that is very rarely the answer to a bad cornerback room. Some fans claim that free agent cornerback acquisitions are the fix, but that depends on who's available in any given offseason. In other words, did Goody do a seemingly good job making moves in the cornerback room this offseason? Of course, time will tell. I think Hafley's second season at DC is a major factor. Go Pack, go. Yeah, I don't know, man. We could pull all the free agents and look at their PFF grades, and we just got through talking about how PFF isn't everything. So it's like you spend a lot of time pulling all that information, then you go, it's just PFF. Does it matter or not? I'm of the opinion, like, when the Packers sign somebody, I don't like going back and trying to determine was that a good signing or not before they've even played a snap.
Yeah.
It's me personally. And it's the same thing with the draft. Like, people will say, man, do a breakdown of this prospect, do a breakdown of that prospect. I don't want to waste a second of my time breaking down a prospect that's not going to play for the Green Bay Packers. You know what I mean? Like, I want to invest all that time into something. And that's why we keyed in on the top 30s, right? The 30 because that's a good chance, a good shot that those guys are going to be on the Packers short list of prospects they want to bring in, potentially draft. So, yeah. But in terms of if you're asking, hey, do you think he did a good job filling the cornerback room? It's funny, Tim. We went through the entire. I don't want to say me. I did. I went through the entire season going, boy, it's going to be hard to win a Super Bowl this young, right?
Yep.
And then if the answer is go draft a corner, well, you just got even younger. Instead, they went out and got a veteran cornerback who's got some versatility to him. And I think he, based off the tape that we've watched, he likes to play kind of top down, keep things in front of him. He's very aggressive underneath. He kind of fits the bill for what we've seen with Jeff Hafley's zone-heavy defense last year.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, to Andy's point, I think I get the gist of what he's asking here. And really, it's not about corner or any other position group. It doesn't matter, right? You don't want to be a franchise or an organization that constantly needs to get draft picks into your organization. And you also don't want to be one that is constantly looking to free agency and overpaying past their prime, proven veteran players to try and build your team up, right? You want to do kind of the delicate dance that we've been doing here, thanks to Goody these past couple of years, which is a little bit of both. We've been in the conversation numerous times about how veterans are treated, but hey, it's a sign of the times. It's not exclusive to Green Bay. If you think the Packers are the only ones that, look at guys over 30 years old with a side eye, you're sorely mistaken. That's every team in the NFL, at the end of the day. So the answer is you don't want to be dependent on one or the other, right? You don't want to constantly have to feel like you're drafting your next franchise player every year. And you also don't want to keep going to the well, getting aging free agents on a 1 or 2 year deal and overpaying them. So I think, I give Goody a B+, for his efforts when it comes to specifically the cornerback room. I think the Hobbs signing was great. It gave us a contingency for, what we thought might have happened, which did happen, which was Jair leaving, right? We knew this was going to kind of, be how it was. It was the writing on the wall. So you do your due diligence, you bring some guys in. I mean, to Goody's credit, we've been active in free agency. We've been active in the draft at corner and safety the past couple of years. So I'll take it. That's the best effort you can possibly have, right? You don't want to lean too far to one side or the other.
Right. And to the draft pick, I mean, you only have so many of them, right, Tim? So, yeah, we've had 11, 12 the past couple of years. We only had 7, 8 this year. So, you can only take a spot with whatever picks you have. And our corners did pretty decent last year. Where were we struggling? We weren't getting pass rush with 4. We had to scheme it up. So why would you not look towards the trenches and kind of go from there? And, Greg Cosell was on the install there, Clay, and he was just talking about the Packers. He was kind of like, Keyshawn's a slot, Hobbs is a slot. He said, so they kind of don't have outside corners, so it's going to be kind of exciting to see what Hafley does, moving them around and stuff like that, which is, we've kind of been on that. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know who's going to play where. So, this preseason and training camp and all that's going to be huge.
Yeah, completely agree, man. All right, let's move it along here. Let's talk a little head coach rankings. All right, PFF puts these out now. Again, PFF catches a lot of heat for these articles they put out. I enjoy the grades, and I love the fact that they've got a systematic approach to trying to evaluate individual players each and every week. When they write these articles, though, I can't help but sometimes wonder, is this kind of clickbaity? Are they trying to engage interaction with how they line these up? All right, and I'm going to go through these top 10 head coaches. All right, it's ranking the top 10 returning NFL head coaches entering the 2025 season. All right, many of these I don't disagree with, but
many of them.
You're going to
not all.
You're going to notice one coach that's not on this list. Let's just go through it real quick. All right. Number 1, they've got Andy Reid. We're not going to read the little paragraph here, the excerpt. You guys go check it out yourself. They'll do just kind of a detailed breakdown. They got Andy Reid, number 1. Listen, I have no problem with Andy Reid being number 1 on this list. That dude has won. How many Super Bowls has he won now? Does it list there? Won all of them, including the playoff, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to think of how many Super Bowls he's got.
3 with Kansas City, right?
Yeah. I want to say it was 4.
I want to say 4.
Yeah.
4, and then one with
no, he didn't win one with Philly. He
got there, but he didn't win one. That's right.
Yeah. And he seemed like he was always at least in the NFC Championship. So Andy Reid, no problem with that at all, right? Sean Payton, I ain't gonna lie, man. It kind of bothers me a little bit that he's number 2. Top 10, I can. All right, I can understand that.
Amen, Clayton.
Number 2
It doesn't bother me that he's on the top 10 list. It bothers me that he's right after Andy Reid. That's crazy.
Right. And the thing is, like, number 2, right? And his winning percentage, where is his winning? His winning percentage is 618, right? Mike McCarthy's is 608. And people talk about Sean Payton like he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and Mike McCarthy don't even get mentioned. They both got a Super Bowl.
Right.
The quarterbacks, they help their quarterbacks. They coach their quarterbacks, both the MVPs. Like, it's just crazy that he's number 2 on this list. And Holmes MD, one of the chat, said, no way Peyton is 2. I'm with you, man. I'm glad I'm not the only person that didn't see it like that. So next you got Sean McVay with the LA Rams. Now, on the surface, it seems a little high, but he was the youngest coach to make it to a Super Bowl. He's the youngest coach to win the Super Bowl. He's been to the Super Bowl twice already. I don't have as much problem with that as I do Sean Payton. I don't know about you guys, but
I think you're right on, Clay. Sean McVay. I was listening to All 32 Pod. They were kind of saying Sean McVay was one of their deal breakers on ranking teams. They were ranking the NFC teams, 1 through 16, and Sean McVay bumped him up a level because he was who he was. Right, hit the schemer, the coach, everything like that.
Yeah. Up next, you got John Harbaugh of the Baltimore Ravens, right? And another Super Bowl winning coach. I think he's made it to a couple, if I remember correctly. So, it's 4 high. It could be a little too high. I don't know. But again, I'd put John Harbaugh over Sean Payton.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. And another guy that belongs on the list, right?
Right.
For sure.
Chuck Jaggers may be onto something here. He says Sean Payton 2 sounds like media love. I can see that too. Breaking news. Mike Tomlin, number 5. Now, this one's tough for me. 1 Super Bowl, right? And we talked about his playoff record, and it was, it's ugly now, isn't it, boys?
Yeah.
Playoffs? Don't talk.
But, again, I would have him above Sean Payton, though, probably.
Oh, yeah.
You think so, guys? What do you think? Am I wrong there? Or maybe they're about the same. What do you think? Sean Payton, Mike Tomlin.
I mean, man, if Sean Payton's number 2, I think there's an argument that you might as well put Tomlin there and switch them. I don't think either one of them necessarily are in that top 5, but definitely they both belong in that top 10 for sure. I just disagree with the order.
Do you think Sean Payton's up there because he's the one with the headset on calling the plays a little bit more? Like Andy Reid's calling the plays, Sean's kind of calling the plays.
I think he's up there because it can't be overlooked what he did in one season with Denver. I mean, let's be honest. He kind of flipped things around there pretty quickly. So, and then that combined with his previous track record as a head coach, and then to your point, wearing the headset, calling the plays, basically running the entire show. I think you got to put him up there and give him credit. But he hasn't won anything since him and Drew Brees won a ring. So.
Right.
It's been a while.
It's worth mentioning, too, Mike Tomlin, win percentage, 630. That's higher than John Harbaugh's 623 and Sean Payton's 618. Sean McVay at 606. So Mike Tomlin has a better winning percentage than those guys in front of him there.
And the first, I think the headset has a lot to do with the first 3, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like Mike Tomlin and Jim, not as, they're not sitting there just rattling off plays and headset.
Gotcha. Jim Harbaugh of the Los Angeles Chargers. I know on the surface some people would see that and go, no way. But Jim Harbaugh, believe it or not, guys, he has the 8th highest winning percentage in the history of the NFL at 685. Like you're talking about higher than George Papa Bear Hallis, Don Shula, Paul Brown, Tony Dungy. You're talking about Hall of Fame coaches. Bill Belichick's at 647. Jim Harbaugh's at 685. So, for me, Jim Harbaugh should be higher on this list. Like he should probably be a little bit. Now he doesn't have a Super Bowl, and that's going to come into factor. Just me grab that pterodactyl. Got it. So, all right. Next, you got Kyle Shanahan of the San Francisco 49ers. That's a guy. Kyle Shanahan's winning percentage. I want to say it was significantly lower, but I could be. His is 530. And
dude,
he does
after that year that the Niners had last season,
yeah,
like.
And Tim, he doesn't have a Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
They were
that
up
was-
and down a lot too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Next, you got Nick Sirianni, 8th. Now, people
Eighth.
say,
He just won a Super Bowl and he's 8th.
yeah, and check this out, Tim. This is what's wild. Nick Sirianni, winning percentage 706, 5th highest in the history of the game,
Yep.
only behind George Allen, Vince Lombardi, John Madden, and Guy Chamberlain.
Right.
That dude, he should have been in the number 2 spot. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Or at
It-
least the 7th spot.
right. The top priority, in my opinion, of building this list is wins and losses, right?
Yeah.
So you go off winning percentage, and the only trumper would be the Super Bowl victory, right? Like if somebody's got 2 rings and one guy's got 1 and he's got a lower or a higher winning percentage, I'd probably lean toward, hey, that dude's got more Lombardis. But the winning percentage should be the kind of the tell of the tape here. But anyway,
Yeah.
Dan Campbell, number 9.
There we go.
Let's see where Dan Campbell's at on the old list here.
I feel
Dan
like this might
Campbell-
be the most accurate, right? 9th out of 10.
Yeah, and he
That's
is 556 winning percentage, actually, 64th in the history of the game. So, Dan Campbell, he's one of those guys. I don't know if I'd put him on the top 10 list, to be honest with you.
He'd be 9 or 10 though, right? He'd be towards the back.
Right.
How-
Right. And if you don't, he's biting your kneecap. So I mean, you got to put him on the list, Clay,
How in the heck is Kevin Stefanski on this?
because he's what, a 2-time Coach of the Year winner, and they just think that he's gonna stir that team right back up. And Shadur's on there, and so
His winning percentage is
That
476.
is so wild.
476.
So wild.
So you guys are going Clayton. Where's Matt LaFleur? Matt LaFleur did not make the top 10.
Where is
How about these hands?
Unbelievable. So I'm going to
No,
pull this up.
I
real
can't
quick.
stand him, but where's our boy from Minnesota?
Yeah, right. Kevin O'Connell, right?
Yeah,
No.
where's KOC in this conversation if you're going to have Stefanski and Dan Campbell up there?
Right. And it's funny you mentioned that, Tim, because look, Kevin O'Connell win percentage 667.
Yep.
Right. Sean McDermott, another one that was not on the list, 656. He's 17th best in the history of the game. Oh, our boy Matt LaFleur, who got shunned here, by the way, 670, 13th best winning percentage in the history of the NFL.
Heard it from a fan right here.
Somebody make this make sense for me, because this redneck is just too dumb to figure
How
it out.
dare you?
Do you think they're doing it for shock factor?
I'll just
Be a crackhead. They got hold to the wrong stuff.
I don't know. Maybe they want the engagement. You know, this is what we're doing, right? We're talking about how crazy
Yeah.
the list is.
Yeah. So again, if you were to rehash the list, Emilio, I'm adding Sean McDermott on that list. I'm definitely taking Stefanski off.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm adding McDermott. I'm adding Matt LaFleur.
Yep.
For sure. And you probably got to add KOC over McDermott, although McDermott's been there a little bit longer, right? Yeah, that's probably what's hurting KOC only 3 years in, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so I would put McDermott over KOC, but I definitely have
Definitely KOC over Stefanski, right?
And it's going into this year, right? That was the whole point of the article. It's going into
Yeah.
this year. So like teams that are on the rise, what are the Browns doing there? You know what I mean? It's so
yeah. It's
I don't
crazy
know.
too, because as Solder said, we all know Rodgers won all those games. Matt LaFleur has made the playoffs both years without Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. And I'm just going to say this. Aaron Rodgers has not made the playoffs without Matt LaFleur. You understand what I'm saying? In the last however long, obviously he made the playoffs many years and won the Super Bowl with Mike McCarthy. But if you were to just compare apples to apples there, well, he got hurt. Okay, he got hurt. Got it. What about last year? Well, he didn't have anything around him. He handpicked the entire damn team. What are we talking about here? So,
right.
Oh, we're going to give him some.
probably there might have been some sarcasm there with H.E. Solder. Regardless, we can agree to disagree if there wasn't. But
Real quick, do you think it could have anything to do with the playoff win percentage over there on the side? Like Matt's at what?
Playoffs?
Kevin O'Connell was that double zeros?
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe that's why you got to stick. I don't know.
Yeah, that does
I'm
come into
giving
factor.
out.
That comes into factor a little bit, I believe. But
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni, though, man,
With the 6'6", 7", he's at number 8. Come on now.
I'm not a big Nick Sirianni fan at all. I think he's kind of quirky. I think he's kind of cocky. He's not, but boy, oh boy, you can't argue with the results for sure. So again, Matt LaFleur, 13th highest winning percentage in the history of the NFL, and can't sniff the top 10. So there you go.
I told you, like I've said before, I'll say it again. We have to bring Lombardi home for Matt LaFleur to get any respect in this league. It's period. That's what's got to happen. We got to win it all.
Yeah. United Base says you could make the same argument with Sirianni, though. Lots of talent. Very, very true. Very true with that. Got a loaded team, no doubt. So there you go. Just a little head coaching talk. I thought that was very interesting. Kind of caught me off guard a little bit. So I'm glad to see that other people looked at that Stefanski on that list. I went, what the heck are they smoking over there? So let's do the same thing now with quarterbacks here. PFF did their top 10 quarterback, all 32 starters of the 2025 NFL season, and basically went through and ranked these guys. All right. Let's get into it. Number 1 on the list, they've got Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 2, they got Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 3, Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens. Let's just stop right there for a second. Pat Mahomes, hard to argue with all the rings, right? I mean, it's kind of like the whole Andy Reid argument there. Joe Burrow, I think, he should be in the top 3 to 5, but I would put Lamar over Joe, me personally. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Joe still hasn't won an MVP. Lamar's won an MVP, right? Actually, two MVPs, right?
Right.
Two-time NFL MVP remains. Yeah, there you go.
Lamar does it.
You want a hot take? I'll put Lamar over Pat Mahomes.
I don't think that's so hard to take, Tim. I don't. Yeah. I can see that. I can see the argument. The only problem is the rings, right? And then I know the argument becomes, well, wins aren't a quarterback statistic. Okay.
True.
But, at the end of the day, if you were to – here's how I like to answer this question. You've got one game to win. One, right? You got one game to play. Who's your quarterback? Who are you picking? I'm probably picking Pat Mahomes because he just figured out a way to get it done every single time just about it, right?
You know who I'm picking? I'm picking Jay freaking Money.
I don't listen too much Taylor Swift.
I like it. What do you think about that top 3, Emilio?
Yeah, no, I think you both make great points. Honestly, yeah, Lamar's got to be above Joe. Lamar's doing it with less talent. Less talent than Jamar Chase and the T. Higgins and everything. So I think that, and Lamar also has the legs too, right? So I think that's where Pat Mahomes gets a little bump. His legs are there, but he's not using them like Lamar. Lamar can steal the show, man. He can break a 90-yarder and it'd be over. So that's that mobility is key.
Yeah. J. Cole says depends on what ref is working the game. That'll determine whether you want Pat Mahomes in there. So I love it. Moving along. Number 4, Josh Allen. Number 5, Jalen Hurts. Number 6, Jaden Daniels. So you see Jaden Daniels getting some love here. I've seen some lists that don't even have him in the top 10. I think 6 might be a little high for me.
Yeah.
But Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, that top 4 I feel like is spot on, in terms of the best 4. Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts, are we being too critical of Jalen Hurts? Do you think he should be in the top in the top 3 or 5? I mean, the dude's got a Super Bowl,
I mean, I think 5 is good, but I think it's this PFF saw it the same way DJ and Buck did. I mean, you have for the trucks and trailers, it was those 4 as are the high end trucks, right? So those they're the ones pulling the trailer. It's those 4, and then it's kind of a bunch after that. PFF was saying the same thing, that you can kind of take this bunch from 5 to 10, maybe even 5 to 15, or 5 to 12ish, and find a really good high end truck. But, or a high-end trailer, maybe low-end truck sort of thing.
Yeah. As Blake says, Hurts showed up big time in the Super Bowl. Yeah. So Jaden Daniels, number 6. Moving along, number 7, Matthew Stafford. Number 8, Justin Herbert. Number 9, Jared Goff. Rounding out the top 10, Geno Smith.
Blah.
Vegas Raiders. The fact that Brock Purdy is 11 blows my mind. I would put Purdy over Geno Smith. I would put him over Jared Goff. I'd put him over Justin Herbert. I'd probably put him over Matthew Stafford, to be honest with you. I'd slide him up to the 7th spot, kick everybody else down, is how I would see that. And then number 12 is our very own Jordan Love. It says, when ranking quarterbacks in this tier, it's almost a dart throw trying to predict the level of play you'll get. Jordan Love's late season run in 2023 was a stellar mix of big-time throws and sound decision-making, but he couldn't carry that momentum into 2024. His big-time throw rate dropped from 5.6 to 3.5%. If he can recapture the 2023 groove, Love has both the talent and mindset to make a run at the NFC crown. How do y'all feel about Jordan Love being in the number 12 spot here?
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff.
I mean, we were begging last year for him to get into the top 10. They finally put him in the top 10. Let's bump him right back down just because Geno Smith goes. I mean, it's like they are expecting a lot out of Geno Smith this year. There's been a couple of shows that have been talking about him a lot, and I really don't know how it's all going to kind of work out down there.
Yeah, Blake B in the chat, Tim, says Jacob the Beard isn't here to stick up for Baker Mayfield, who comes in at number 13 spot. But what do you think, Tim?
I'll stick up for Baker. You know, Baker can go to 12 since Jordan belongs in the top 10, so we can just move Jordan up.
I like it.
Can you scroll up? Let's look at the last of this list. This is crazy to me. Geno Smith, absolutely not. Jared Goff, arguably. Herbert, arguably. Okay, Jaden Daniels, hell of a rookie season, right, guys? Wasn't that fun to watch him last year? But my goodness, top 6 in the NFL as a quarterback off of one season.
No,
I'm too drunk to taste that chicken, right? So I'm going to go ahead and move him down. I'd put Daniels as my 10, bumping Geno out of there, and then I'd move Jordan up there somewhere, 8 or 9, 7, maybe somewhere in that range. I don't know.
Gotcha. I'll tell you this, man. As the article says, 2023 Jordan Love, top 3 quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. Outside of, if you remove those final 9 games of the 2023 season, I'm putting Jordan probably around the 15 spot. But taking all things into consideration, I've said from the beginning, I feel like he's somewhere between 10 and 13, me personally. And again, if he returns to 2023 form, you're talking about an absolute freaking dog. And I think he will now that he's healthy. So the thing I wanted to point out here, though, guys, keep in mind, all right, Jordan Love is number 12 on this list, right? Just keep that in the old memory bank, all right? Now let's move on to receiving cores. So they did a ranking of receiving cores. It says 2025 NFL receiving core rankings. Eagles kick off things at number 1. So they got the Eagles 1, Tampa 2, Bengals 3, Lions 4, 49ers 5, Vikings 6, Dolphins 7, Rams 8, Bears 9, Texans 10, Falcons 11, Ravens 12, Commanders 13, Chiefs 14, Cowboys 15, Jaguars 16,
What?
Colts 17, Cardinals 18, Bills 19, Seahawks 20. The Green Bay Packers come in the 21 spot. So if I were to tell you guys, you got the 12th best quarterback in the league and the 21st best receiving core, where do you think we would rank in passing? Where do you think we would rank statistically? I mean, the
15,
12th, not
18.
Yeah.
somewhere around
15,
that mark.
like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in yards per pass attempt, the Green Bay Packers finished 4th in the league last year. 4th at 8.1. San Francisco was 8.3, right above them. Detroit 8.5, Baltimore 8.8. The Packers, I repeat, finished 4th in passing, yards per pass attempt. How the hell do you have the 12th best quarterback, not even a top 10 quarterback, and the 21st best passing or best receiving core, but somehow, some way you finish 4th in passing? Somebody explain that to me like I'm 10 years old.
They don't know what the they're doing. You understand that?
That is absolutely insane to me. Like, what made the passing game go? Like, what was it that allowed us to be so effective in moving the ball down the field? Like, I don't necessarily agree with the Jordan Love ranking, right? Like, or disagree, I should say, because the interceptions play a role in that. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, that's going to drag you down a little bit. Somewhere between 10 to 13, I'm okay with it. I think you'll improve tremendously this year. But having the receiving core be 21st in the league after you finish 4th in passing is absolutely insane.
Right.
And look at the teams that are right there. Like, scroll back, like Seattle,
Even if Seattle, you take Seattle, you got JSN, Cooper Kupp, and MVS. That's who he's throwing to, and you're telling me,
That's better than what we have.
Better? Come on now.
And who's 19? Buffalo.
Chuck says they're smoking straight crack with their feet. Yeah, number 19 was Buffalo. Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
Yeah. I guess because Marvin Harrison Jr., the one trick pony there.
There's a name. Okay.
The Colts?
Yeah. You got to be.
The Colts?
The Colts.
I've got to know. Where did Indianapolis? Oh,
every team we've seen so far should be scratched off the list. We've leapfrogged every one of these teams already.
The Colts finished 18th at 7 yards per pass attempt.
This receiving is tough.
This is insane, dude. And again, it's Green Bay 21st is just nuts to me.
That's mind-boggling.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to touch on that to go not sure what they're seeing here. Yeah. But again, this is why I heard Michael Lombardi say this one time, and he said it was a couple F-bombs mixed in with some other colorful language. And he said, whoever's running PFF need to get them to stop writing articles over there because they lose damn credibility every single time they put their pen to the paper.
I got some advice for y'all. Take 2 weeks off, then quit.
Like if you want to build merit, you want to build confidence in your grading and in what you guys are known for, your PFF grades, get these knuckleheads, these guys off of the damn keyboard.
Right.
Articles. That's just insane. So anything else on the Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers, wide receiving core, all that stuff? Anything else? I'm going to pull up a tweet real quick and show y'all something to go along with this.
We'll just bookmark this whole conversation for at the end of this season.
Yeah.
When we see where our receiving room's at, right?
That 8% drop rate better get better, and we'll be in good shape. But even that wasn't the worst. We were fourth worst. So, I mean, that's not horrible. We're not bottom of the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I put a series of tweets out here with Jordan Love throwing to Jaden Reed. I was just watching tape earlier today. Watch this dime piece right here, man. On the run, watch him fade out. Look at this. Just on the run, little flick of the wrist, little slow-mo action for you.
Man, I wonder where he learned that from.
Just look at Jaden Reed going up, mossing a defender. Mossing a Harrison Smith, by the way.
Yeah.
So there's one play. I mean, I know we got the 21st best receiving core in the league, right? So as I'm going through, it was just Jaden Reed play after Jaden Reed play. It was unbelievable. Like you guys remember the play with the LA Rams?
Maybe 4 defenders.
Yeah, it was in triple coverage, right? Definitely double coverage, a third defender out there as well. Look at this play right here. So imagine this is the 12th best quarterback in the league and a member, the best receiver on the 21st best receiving core. Look at this right here.
Oh, this is the definition of F it Reed's down there. So
that's right.
That is the play right there.
Yeah. Dude put his hand on his visor and everything. He couldn't see it.
Yeah. And there's people, I literally had to log off Twitter last year when people were just trying to talk as if Jaden Reed was a bad receiver. It is, dude. Kidding me? Crazy. I got one more for you here, too. There was actually a third one that popped up on the tape. And what we did, we're putting a chalk talk together for all of Jordan Love's 20-plus air yard throws. That'll be coming up here really, really soon. And boy, oh boy, is it a fun one to break down. Here's one more throw we'll show you, and then we'll move on to the LVN chalk talk, right? Look at this ball placement right here. And watch Jaden Reed with the concentrated catch again. This is just absolutely insane, man. Look at this. Look at where he puts this ball.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
And again, on a future, arguably Hall of Famer right there, Tyrann Mathieu.
Over the Honey Badger's ear, huh, Tim?
Right by the earpiece.
Can you drop it back to the front? Just look at that old line real quick. Look at that wall we got going on here. Come on now. Yeah, buddy. Look at that well.
You're right, man. That was a nice well.
Come on now.
There was one more I wanted to show, too. I can't remember if I actually loaded it up on Twitter or not. I don't think I did. I did not. But it was that throw. You'll probably remember it from the Eagles game where they do kind of a sprint left rollout where Jordan takes the snap out of shotgun, spins away, runs away. They kick Josh Myers out the block, right? Actually, I know it's on there because we were kind of cracking up at it.
That was the one he hit read on that one as well, right?
Yeah. So it's on the second part of that video that I already had pulled up. Let me pull this up real quick. This is you guys are going to appreciate this because when you see Josh Myers on this play, God love his heart, right? So you remember that play we just showed?
Yep.
All right. Now here comes the play where he rolls out to the left. Watch this throw right here. 12th best quarterback in the league. Look at this, right? Look at Josh Myers. Oh, Tim. What's Josh Myers here, man? This was great. First of all, focus on the throw first. Don't look at Josh Myers. Focus on the throw.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you see it, Tim? Let's go back to it. What's Josh Myers? Hell with it. Look. But look at this throw on the run. Look at the placement. And by the way, Jaden Reed.
Yep.
You kidding me?
2 feet down, ball getting hit.
It takes a shot, too.
Look at J Love square up his shoulders, though. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
All he needs is a second to square up and throw it.
Dude, and off the right foot, too. Off the right tippy toe.
Ugh.
That's not like he makes that look easy. That is not easy to
He even
do.
fell awkward on his leg there a little
Yeah.
bit. I didn't love that. That was the first Philly game?
Yes, that was week one.
Brazil,
They were
right?
trying to battle back.
Of course, it was that field.
Yeah. Jaden Reed does a great job. Great job getting both feet in, too. So, anyway, maybe someday PFF will see it. Right now, they don't. But with that being said, anything else you guys want to hit on there with the quarterback wide receiver conversation before we move along?
Nothing.
right.
Our quarterback and our receiver room are better than they're being ranked right now. But don't tell anyone. We'll let them be surprised.
There you go. All right, that's going to do it for hour one. For those of you listening on the pod, we will see you on the other side for hour two. We appreciate y'all.
For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome into hour two. Let's do some LVN chalk talk. That sound good, fellas? This right here was this was a blast to break down. So you're going to get his sacks. He finished the year with 3 sacks, I believe it was. He finished with 11% quarterback pressure percentage. But the other thing here that I really want you guys to key in on is the run stops, or run defense, because that was something he did somewhat excel at. And again, PFF graded him extremely low in run defense, if I remember correctly. But we're going to start at 75%. Once again, right here, you're seeing kind of a wide 9, wide 7 look. You know where he's lined up. I like to focus in on the defensive alignment. What do you got here, guys? You've got Devontae Wyatt in the 3 tech, right here. And then you got Carl Brooks playing the 2, right? So, again, a 3 and a 2 out of the nickel, 4-2-5. Gary's in a wide 9. And then, of course, you've got LVN in a wide 9. Let's watch him spill this play. So, look at him go outside, right? Rushes up the field. Look at how Wyatt's kind of playing that touch spy on this play. You see him? And now watch our boy LVN wash out. Gary gets his hand on Will Levis. Will Levis tries to scramble, and look at his.
Hercules.
See?
And
let's talk about the fact that LVN got washed out, like you said, but he never fell to the ground. He never really lost his feet.
Never stopped. That's that motor we're talking about, man. Again, watching him rush. And he took the edge. He beat his guy like a damn drum.
Yep.
Right? And then Will Levis thinks, okay, I'm going to get – no, you ain't, bub. Ain't going to happen. And again, watch Devontae Wyatt. Some people would see that rep and go, man, Devontae Wyatt, he can't get no push. That's a touch spy, guys. Look, they're running a little TT, but look how Wyatt's just kind of lagging back. He's protecting that rush lane.
Yep.
If he tries to split that double team right there, Will Levis is up and out of the pocket here, right? But you see him just kind of holding that gap, and of course LVN finishes.
And Carl Brooks was kind of doing that same thing there. He was kind of back and forth on that twist. He was, once they twisted, all right, you're on left side hold, I'm on right side hold, Devontae. And look at, you see Devontae Wyatt take off with this full sprint to angle him off. Look at that. Oh,
dude, I'm telling you, he is a hell of an athlete. Devontae Wyatt is. Like, I'll never forget.
I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that the first time, man. He took off. He was ready to kill Will Levis there.
He was the best guy around.
You didn't catch that because you were up there in the air conditioner getting you another whiskey at the game. I know why you didn't catch that in real time.
That's very true.
Nah, but again,
Gary, another banana.
I love it. You didn't see a whole lot of this last year.
No.
But you'll see they actually had the edges pin their ears and take the outside here. And then you got that TT in the middle, that torch, some folks call it. Right?
That was that. I think that was the one where we saw the clip afterward, Rashawn Sellian, because, hey, LVN got there. We love that. And he goes, you got me that one, Rashawn.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next, let's see the alignment here. This is one of my favorite plays here, man. This is against the 49ers, right? So, again, 0 tech, 2, 4. Where's LVN at? Call it a 6 or a 6I, right? So he's over top of Kittle is where he's lined up right now. So, again, this is your base 4-3, 1, 2, 3 linebackers, right? So you're in a base 4-3. You're playing what I would consider an over here, where you got the weak side of the formation because your traditional Y is over here over LVN. Your weak side is a 1, and then you got a 3 tech on the strong side. Okay, but it's funny because you don't have LVN kicked outside playing a 7. He's playing a straight up 6. Boys, Christian McCaffrey, hell of a football player, right?
It's been said he's a hell of a player, yeah.
I want you to watch what LVN does to this poor kid. All right, watch LVN and watch what he does to Christian McCaffrey. All right, they're going to bring Juszczyk over. Look at this, throws him out of the damn club. How awesome is that?
And gets to the quarterback too.
Yeah. Again, watch it. Beats the puller there. Was that puller? Was that actually Jordan or our boy Aaron Banks? What number was Aaron Banks?
77. Like? Is that Banks?
I don't know if it is or not. I can't remember. Regardless, though, he didn't expect LVN to get in the backfield that quick, and Christian McCaffrey had a handful. Look at that.
No, Banks was 65.
Was he? Okay, so he's definitely playing left guard right here. So he's just trying to help hold up. Pretty good rep there, actually.
Yep.
Look at that defense, though. I mean, it's going to be different next year. You go ahead and pause it. You got TJ Slayton. You got McDuffie out there. You got Anibari out there. You got Eric Wilson out there. I mean, it's going to look different this year.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a lot of fun to see LVN in year 2 of being the guy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right. I think he'll take a step forward. But you see him. I mean, he beat 2 blockers there, right? That's essentially what happened, and gets the strip sack.
Yep.
And look at Kenny too, just that veteran presence. As soon as the ball comes out, he knows get on the ball, boys, get on the ball.
Let me tell you, good work there. I just saw this at the end. Quay and Zay McDuffie here. Great work by our linebackers.
Mm-hmm. That poor quarterback, man. All right, moving along. So that was sack number 2. Next, you've got against the Dolphins here. Was this Thanksgiving night? Am I thinking right, fellas? I think it was.
I believe so.
So sometimes in our nickel 4-2-5, what they like to do, there's your 2 linebackers. We like to go with a little bit wider spread up front. So you got a 4 and a 4 tech, right? And then you got your wide 9s out here, which I really do like this. And sometimes
especially when they're in the open, though, Clay, right? Especially when they're 5 wide, you don't have the back in the backfield to worry about. Yeah, you got to worry about the QB run, but always.
Yeah, completely agree. Let's see what LVN does right here as he lined up in that wide rep there from LVN. All right, here we are against the Eagles. So let's see what we got in terms of alignment. You got TJ Slayton in this time, right? You've got our boy. Let's see what Coach Lynn says. LVN just has to learn one more move besides the bull rush, and he'll be cooking. Completely agree.
I think he's almost there, right? We saw that with the hand fighting, right? Yeah. His hands are getting better. The feet are moving. I think he's almost there. I really do.
As long as that thumb's healed, go full tilt with it.
Yeah. So we got Xavier McKinney playing a little spur, right? And you'll notice you've got TJ Slayton, I believe that is, right? 93.
Yep.
You got him playing the 1. You got Carl playing the 3 tech this time. Okay. And it's important to mention because it seems like when you talk defensive tackle rotation, there's multiple levels to that, right? Like the main rotation last year was Kenny in the 1 tech, and we're talking nickel 4-2-5. Kenny in the 1 tech, and then we were putting Devontae Wyatt in the 3. And again, that can bleed over to a 2I and to a 4I type look, right? But Kenny Clark 1, Devontae Wyatt 3. And then when Kenny came off the field and Devontae Wyatt was on the field, they would put Carl Brooks in the 1. They would put keep Devontae Wyatt in the 3, right? And then when both of those guys are off the field, they would put TJ Slayton as the basically the third string one tech in our nickel 4-2-5, which I'm just going to be honest, I disagreed with because I thought TJ Slayton was way better at rushing the passer than he got credit for. I want to say he finished with that 8% pressure rate, which is pretty damn decent for a traditional nose tackle style player. But then you kick Carl over to the 3 when you got TJ Slayton in at the 1, right? So I just want to point that out. And on this particular rep, we're focused on LVN. You'll notice he is lined up again in the 6 tech over top of the tight end. Let's see what happens here. I think this is a running play. Yep, so they're going to run a little inside run. Look at LV and engage with Goddard. Now, I know there's some people within the local Packers media that suggest that LVN gets blocked by tight ends. Watch him on this rep here. Get the hell off me, boy. Tackle. I mean, just holding the point of attack against that tight end, you could tell it's not what people are saying that he's just being stood up and blocked by tight ends.
What are you supposed to do on the end on a run play? You're supposed to contain him. You better turn that thing back inside or else we're going to have a problem.
Yep.
Block, hold at the end, fighting through a hold as well.
Yeah. So, again, pretty strong run rep there. All right, moving along now. Isaiah McDuffie plays a run pretty damn good, too, by the way. He's pretty aggressive.
Yes, sir.
All right, next play. This is against the Indianapolis Colts. What kind of alignment do we have here? So now we've got – it looks like this is an interesting look. They got Kenny playing the 2. They got Wyatt playing the 3. So you see what we're saying there with the, Kenny closer to the nose than Wyatt. I believe this looks like Preston Smith maybe.
Yep.
It's gonna be
he looks so awkward going down in a 3-point stance.
I know it. I bet he felt awkward too. That's why he said, well, y'all trade me already.
Yeah.
So he played in the 4 right here, and then you got LVN in the wide 9, right? You've got our boy McDuffie on the line of scrimmage playing or showing a wide 9, whether he brings it or not, who knows? But let's watch how the play develops here. So again, even though it's a 4-3 defense, or in this case a nickel 4-2-5, it almost acts like a 3-4 jam that we ran under Joe Barry, right? You got someone who's close to a 0. You've got 3 other down linemen. There's 5 on the line of scrimmage is essentially what it comes down to, not counting the safety. But again, key in right here on LVN on this run rep. Look at our boy get back here. That's that athleticism, man.
And speed. A little bit of wheels there, too.
That's that 4.6 40 in his underwear at the combine, Tim.
Yes, sir.
You get that.
You can't be running power like that if you got that sort of speed on the edge, and you're not going to be really leaning into that read option. I mean, at that point, pull it. I mean, you got to pull it. If that dude's crashing that hard, LVN did, you got to yank that. With it set up as a power, it's over.
Yeah, yep. He should have stole that pulling offensive lineman's towel. That would have been hilarious. Yep. Steal his towel from behind and then just tackle the running back. But yeah, hell of a rep there by LVN. You see what I'm saying with LVN? Like you look at the PFF grades, and go, oh, he's horrible, and then we turn around, you go to the NFL Pro, and you find he had a higher pressure percentage than T.J. Watt, right? 11.8. So his pressure percentage went from 8-something into the 11s, right, up to 11%. And you're seeing these run D reps where his presence being felt. The problem is he's not on the field enough.
Yep.
That's it. They got.
That's going to end this year, though, right?
It's got to, Tim. It's got to get up there with Gary at 50%.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Unless Brenton Cox Jr. takes another step and they're going, man, there's no way we can keep this dude off the field. I don't think it'll get to that point. But all right. So in this rep, Carl Brooks, once again, pterodactyl, 1 tech, right? And then you've got Devontae White. I think that's Kobe Wooden in it. Is that 96?
Yes.
Might be Kobe Wooden, but he's in the 3 tech. Okay. Some would say a 4-eye. I could see that too, but we're splitting hairs at this point. They got Gary over here playing a 6, essentially. And then, of course, we got our boy LVM, what will probably be a 7 tech. Let's watch the play here. It's going to be a running play to Kyron Williams. Pretty damn good running back, right? Now look at LVN taking on the block, right? Block, shed, make the tackle. Looks a lot like that Philly rep, doesn't it?
Yep.
Again with the hands, too.
Mm-hmm.
Hands and feet keep moving the whole rep.
I'm trying to think. Was his thumb wasn't broke at this point, was it?
Doesn't look like it.
I don't see that black cast on it.
Yeah. Looks like he's got a wrist wrap. That's about it.
Yeah. Love the swim move there, too, right? Just swim over the top, make the tackle. All right.
That's good work.
All right, let's move along to the next play. We've got Looks like a nickel 4-2-5 here. We got Enigbare, wide 9 right from the offense's perspective for everybody on the pod there. We have got our boy, once again, Carl Brooks playing the 1 tech, Kobe Wooden playing the 3 tech, LVN now playing the 6. All right. Let's key in on LVN. Again, this should be another running play to Kyron Williams. We'll toss play. LVN at the point of attack. This is what we noticed earlier. Look at the eyes in the backfield, right?
Extend, get your hands free.
Mm-hmm. So that'd be a fun game to go watch, is watch LVN's reps against the Rams for sure.
He's got such length too. He's got that wingspan enough to punches him. He jammed that lineman back. I mean, the dude lost 1.5 yards right there.
This guy doing over here on the ground anyway?
That's that Tetris. You know what I mean? That
is that Tetris. Yeah. Watch what he does to this tackle. Get your ass on the ground. Where are you going? All right. Up next, we got the Texans game. Right here, we've got we're in our 4-3 look. Right, you got Eric Wilson playing Mike. You've got Cooper playing Sam, and McDuffie playing Will.
It's gonna be so different this year. Preston on the right side and the wide 9 too. That's gonna be crazy.
And then we got LVN playing that 6 tech again. Again, on the front, you've got Kobe Wooden playing the 2I. And I can't tell if that's Devontae Wyatt or not, but someone there playing.
Carl Brooks.
Carl Brooks playing the 3.
Devontae.
Yeah. All right, let's watch LVN on this rep. Should be a run and play. Joe Mixon. LVN fighting through 2 blocks. Mm-hmm. Again. Shoves the tight end into another county.
Sit your butt outside.
A pulling tight end as well.
And he was the point of attack too, right? That guard's looking for LVN, but what he did was he stayed in the hip pocket of that tight end and then smushed that gap, and it kind of disappeared. If he had engaged straight up field, no, you got to smush it, come down with them, and then blow up, take on 2 blockers, split them, make the tackle.
Yeah. Yep. Got us a question here. Let's answer that real quick. Chase Green, good to see you, buddy. Says, hey, Clayton, what's the difference between over and under fronts? What front does Van Ness play better in? I don't think he plays particularly better in either front, but when you're talking about an over or an under, in this case, you're in a 4-3 look, right? This is the perfect snap to do this. I'm glad you asked. So, again, with a 4-3, we know what this is, right? You got 4 defensive linemen, which even though our boy Preston Smith's standing up at this point before the rep, that's considered a defensive end, right? An edge, essentially. So you got a 4 defensive linemen, and then you got your 3 stack backers, right? That's your 4-3 look. When you're in an over front, you're shaded to the strong side of the formation. And this is the easiest way it was explained to me years ago. Over the tight end, over the strong side of the formation, or under the strong side of the formation. And that starts with the front 4. So if you're playing an over, you're shaded towards the strong side of the formation, right? And what that means is just focus on the 2 defensive tackles, and that'll tell you whether it's an over or under. So establish the strong side of the formation. This is the strong side of the formation, right? So where are your defensive linemen? Your 3 tech is on the strong side. Your 1 tech is on the weak side, or a 2I, closer to a 1, right? So you're playing over the strong side of the formation. Right. If it was the opposite, and this guy right here was playing a 1 tech, and this guy here was playing the 3, that would be called a 4-3 under. Okay. Now, some people will compile it with one of the linebackers being on the line of scrimmage. I was told, no. We're strictly talking about the front 4 and how they're playing the strong side of the formation. Are you playing over, or are you playing under?
Hopefully, I wouldn't love an under right there, Clay, with the hat count it being. You know what I mean? You're going to have kind of 2 guys in the tight end able to split, so you'd be leaving a nice gap there where Carl Brooks or Devontae Wyatt is.
Yeah, and typically when you play an over, you're kind of what you're doing is you're playing a team that probably runs strong side, right? You'll get a lot of what we call weak zone running teams. And you'll notice that sometimes you'll just play maybe even front, or you'll play an under front, knowing that they typically run to the weak side of the formation, which we ran a lot of weak side zone with Aaron Jones over the years. So that's the difference between an over and under there, Chase. Hopefully that answered your question, man. And again, you can talk to some coaches. Coach Lynn may look at it totally different. That's the way I've been taught, is always think just front four, because they won't suggest or explain that an over is an over unless the Sam is on the line of scrimmage, right? And I've always been taught when one of the linebackers is on the line of scrimmage and you form a 5-man front, as long as the nose tackle is anything inside of 3-tech, we call that a jam front. Okay, so you got 5 on the line of scrimmage, 3 defensive linemen inside the tackles, essentially. So Coach Lynn says you're right on. Thank you, Coach. And again, I'm always going to kind of go back to that, like, hey, some people explain it differently. That's why when you hear terminology, both on offense and defense, coaches coach things up different. Like you can go to Pete Carroll's style of defense is what Jeff Hafley runs, right? And his cover 3 approach. And then you go listen to a Nick Saban coaching clinic and how he teaches his DB coaches with box and triangle. And you'll go, whoa, this sounds a lot different.
Right.
Both of them, quarters and cover 3 looks, but they've just got different teaching principles and different details within their scheme. So anyway, I thought this was a cool play here, though, against Mixon, man, because Mixon's a good running back, you know. LVM beats 2 blockers, and really 3 if you include the puller, right, Emilio, like you were saying?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you start with the first tight end, get in his hip, push him off, and then you're splitting the puller. You're splitting a pulling guard and a tight end that are coming to, you know, pretty much take your head off.
Right.
And you just blow it up, man, really.
Yeah, so look right here. He beats the tight end, right? He's going to shove him over to the line, okay? Then 69's supposed to block him and set the edge. He slips under him. He absorbs the contact of the other pulling tight end and then makes the tackle. That's what you call they literally had 3 hats on one. They had a +2 hat count on LVN, and he made the tackle.
And they thought they could get him with the flow one way, bring pullers the opposite, right, and catch him off guard. No, sir.
No. All right, here we are against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's Tim's.
Duval.
I've been waiting for one of these. All right, so in this case, this is what you've seen a lot of last year. Kenny Clark playing the 2-eye to the 1-tech, right? Carl Brooks over here in the 3-tech, or you could call it a 4-eye. But again, Kenny playing the nose of the nickel, essentially, right? LVN in that wide 9 off to the left side from the offense's perspective. So they did a little orbit motion, a little chicanery. They're just going to hand this ball off on inside. And now watch LVN's athleticism. Watch the stride length. Guys, he lined up in a wide 9 left.
Did they not watch the Colts tape?
Exactly.
Because he literally just did that.
Isn't that wild? Like all the way across the formation to make the tackle.
Look at Kenny blowing up down the middle there
with a bum toe.
Yeah,
seriously.
Kenny moving as fast as he can, and then LVN's 10 steps behind him and still gets there first.
And on top of that, give a little credit to Enikbari setting the edge, being able to one arm the dude, extend, give yourself up. You have a free hand, turn him inside.
That's a great eye, Emilio. Great eye. For everybody on the pod that can't see this, Enikbari just doing the straight arm, locking the right arm out, look like how Gary does.
Yep.
And he's got his left arm free, ready to make the tackle and setting the edge. And that's what causes the hesitation. Yeah, that's a beautiful rep. Good eye there, man. And again, LVN just blowing it up.
And again, our 2 backers, Eric Wilson, Isaiah McDuffie. Come on now. This year's gonna be different.
Yeah. All right, LVM wide 9 here. Engaging with the tackle, fighting back to the inside, making the tackle.
Yeah, rip.
Yeah, it was a little rip move, wasn't it? Engage, hold your ground. Yep, rip.
Get off me, Sewell.
Get ready to go.
There you go. All right. Next rep. Let's see where we're lined up. So now we're back in the 6-tech, right? So here's a 4-3 look. Let's see if we can determine if it's over or under here, guys. So where's the strong side of the formation? All right, it's over here. So 1-tech weak, 3-tech strong. That is an over front, right? Over front. Let's watch LV on this rep. Inside, going to be a little toss play. Takes on the lead blocker. Shakes it. Makes a tackle.
With the hat count to that side, they're running what, a power eye left or power eye strong or whatever. And man, that first tight end should have chipped him. Give him a shot at least.
Yep.
He worked the fullback.
Yeah, you got kind of that H back in the backfield. He just, completely puts him on his. How many times have we seen that tonight on this reel here?
He gets his hands on him and he can shake him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just ragdolls him to the side.
I think it's slowly becoming evident that they're going to have to send help that way if LVN continues to, develop the way he has.
Yep. And it's easy to criticize Goody he was the 13th overall pick. I think everybody here would agree to this point, LVN has not lived up to the 13th overall pick. We all agree with that, right?
Right.
Yeah. So if Goody thought he was going to be, man, this guy's going to be as good as Gary, imagine the extra attention he's going to be warranting, right? To help free up Gary a little bit. You're not seeing Gary in a lot of these reps too. It's almost like they put LVN in when Gary came off the field. It's like they want to keep one of those two guys in. Maybe that's what we've been missing. Think about that for a second. We're talking about the rotation. Maybe it's they always want to have either Gary or LVN on the field at all times. And that's like, there's certain trigger points of the rotation. That might be it right there.
I like that.
Didn't even think about it.
Digging.
Hopefully we see them both on the field this year.
Me, man, I'm telling
NASCAR package.
I want to see them both get 60%. That's what I want.
Yep.
And Brenton Cox Jr. right behind them with the next most reps for sure. All right. Next look, you got him here, 3-point stance. He's playing what I would consider a 6 to a 7 tech. This time, once again, strong side of the formation. How are we lined up? This time it's an under. You see it? You notice it? So strong side right here. Okay. So on the strong side of the formation is your 2-eye, and the weak side of the formation is your 3-tech. So this is what you would call an under, right? You're playing under the strong side of the formation. That makes sense. So let's watch LVN on this rep here. Left tackle got his eyes on him. See that stripe on the helmet? He's going, boy, got to watch it. Oh, we're going to pull. He faked him out. Look at LVN. All the way across the formation, man.
Look at Zane Anderson getting around the corner too.
Yep.
Love it.
Zane.
It just hit me too, that Jacksonville Jaguars clip that we watched him, where he came all the way across the formation. That was a 4th down too.
Really?
Went for it on 4th down. I'm almost positive that was a 4th down snap. I specifically remember that last year.
So another clutch play in that game.
Yeah, definitely. So there you go, man. There's your LVN Chalk Talk breakdown. What do y'all think, boys? How are we feeling about it?
I'm excited for this year because we got the new D-line coach coming in. I think that's going to make a huge difference. Get him a couple different reps, give him different ideas, different moves, and let's go with him and Rashawn. Rashawn being healthy back. Was it 2 years now from his ACL? That's going to be exciting. I think Hafley can get pressure with 4. He's going to do it. If we can have 4 take off, or 4 out of the 6 or whatever, and we can just rotate them, I'm happy with it.
Yeah. AFM in the chat asks, I think Gary and LVN are too similar of players. He went on to say, you want speed and power on the edge, yin and yang. I don't see it that way, AFM. The big thing, especially when you're breaking down prospects and stuff leading into the draft, the people that I trust watching tape that are way better at it than me, they're always talking about you've got to be able to rush with power. If you can't rush with power, you will not play in the NFL. You will not be successful. All right. Now, you want to develop moves off of moves and things like that, absolutely. But I see LVN as a much quicker version of Rashawn Gary. And what I see with Rashawn Gary is someone who understands how to rush the passer better than LVN, like a more seasoned. Yeah. I see the similarities in them for sure, but I would much rather have 2 guys that can win with power as opposed to one that wins with power and one that wins with speed. Because you can – Mark Tauscher and Brian Bulaga talk about this all the time. They said, I can handle you if you're a speed rusher. That's no problem. I can handle you. I can handle that. If you can beat me with power, I've got an issue. Right. Because at any point, you can go to the bag, to that power, and if I'm looking for a speed move, I'm screwed. Right? So they would much rather face someone that's a little more technical and speedy as opposed to someone who can just drive right through you. And that's kind of the starting point, I think, of a good pass rusher.
So I also think you can create the pocket yourself. You know what I mean? Like you can get your hands on a guy, push him back. You collapse that well. You can, instead of just going around the outside, turning the corner, and then him stepping up. If you want to collapse it and close that stop, that step up lane, you have the ability to do that with power.
Yeah. Cody in the chat, good to see you, buddy. Says power can always be developed, speed can't. Power cannot be always developed. It can't. Like when you hear Greg Cosell talk about these prospects coming in, there were several of them. He's like, boy, this guy's got 3 and 4 pass rush moves. The problem is he cannot rush with power. He can't. You can't, you could try to get somebody in the weight room and make them stronger and try to develop a power move. Typically, when you come out of college, if you're not a power rusher by the end of your years in college, you're not all of a sudden going to develop power at the next level. It's something you've either got or you don't. It's almost like that natural ability that you're given, right? And you can say, well, speed's the same way, Clayton. Not everybody runs a 4.440 like James Pierce Jr. True, but a 4.440 is not going to make you a good speed rusher, right? It's foot speed, of course, right? It's getting one foot down after the other. But when you're a good speed rusher, there's a lot of things that come to it. It's the first step, yes, but it's the bend as well. And you've got to have 2 and 3 moves to work as a speed rusher. Because what will happen is if it's just strictly speed and they take the edge, which is you kind of see that in a little bit in Colin Oliver. You don't see a multitude of pass rush moves. All they're going to do is they're going to take that extra kick step and they're going to wash you right around the edge. Go back and watch Danny DeVito, as I always say. Tommy DeVito run all over us, right? We just kept rushing right up the field passing. That's what tackles will do. That's what Tauscher talks about too, is I'm just going to slap you in the shoulder pad a couple times and wash you right out of the play every time. Ed Madden, Oliver can give us speed situationally. LVN and Gary can turn the pocket into a fumble. I love that. Love it.
Yep.
And I, Carl Brooks, man, if you were to say, man, what was the biggest disappointment of 2024 for me, it's probably Carl Brooks, and it's not his fault, it's mine. I was coming into the season going, I think Carl Brooks is going to take a huge step in year 2 because he looked so good his rookie year,
Right.
And he just took a huge step back.
But everybody did, right? Everybody did with Hafley's plan. So, I mean, you're asking him to do different things, and I think maybe you can open up the playbook now that you have a little bit more faith in the back end, or you think that, we can get pressure with 4.
Yeah. Chase Green said, I am worried about the D tackles keeping us a top 5 run defense than the edges. We have good backers to defense those outside runs. Got it. Yeah. I mean, we were real vocal the entire draft season. I was hoping they'd get one of those top 3 techs.
Yeah.
I really was.
Walter Nolan.
Yeah. Because again, I'm one that you didn't hear us talking about edge a whole lot other than James Pierce Jr. because I thought the value was so great there that if he fell to the Packers, they should take him. Obviously, they've seen it otherwise. But I felt good about the defensive edge room. What I was worried about is compressing the pocket if you want to decide to get away from, hey, let's get away from that touch spy a little bit and really push the pocket. If Kenny is not the player he used to be, then you're going to have Wyatt who can do it, but Kenny can't. But then we find out about the toe, and it could be excuse. It could be. We'll find out, won't we? We're going to find out if Kenny can get back to kind of those 2 or 3 years that he had was really, really good. But, I still don't – more times than not, I'll have an opinion on stuff, and I'll look back 2 or 3 years later and go, damn, I got that wrong bad. It happens all the time. With Kenny, when they signed him that contract, I was very man, I don't like this signing. He just hasn't shown – he's worthy of that money, right? I hope he proves me wrong. Unfortunately, he did, up to this point. I can't imagine that someone who's been in the league for 10 years and he had 2 really good seasons out of those 10 years. And don't get me wrong, he's a pro's pro. He's somebody you want in the locker room. He's a team leader. The guys love him. They look up to him. He's leading film study in the defensive line room, all that stuff, having him over to his house and all that. Those are all great things, but I don't know. Do y'all disagree with that? Do y'all
no,
being too hard on them?
No, I don't. I don't disagree at all. But I think those things you just brought up about, kind of the veteran leadership and, the intangibles, so to speak, clearly that's valued a lot when it comes to Kenny Clark. And they're willing to overlook some of the underwhelming years that he's had on the field, because I think what he does in the locker room behind the scenes with this defensive line group speaks volumes. And I think that may be why they may have pulled the trigger on that deal, because I don't think you're wrong at all, Clayton, because if you look at the stats, you look at the tape, you just don't see it. But, it's all the other things that we as fans don't get to see. We don't get to see him on Monday nights bringing the boys over to the house and, ordering food and watching film and, being a mentor and, all those little things that go the extra mile. So clearly there's some value when it comes to Kenny Clark, in that respect.
Something else you don't see either is after we got through the season, or a good portion of the season, we were calling out the touch spies, right?
Yeah.
We don't see the meetings behind doors where they're like, Kenny, man, let's put you on IR. And he's like, no, man, we shoot that thing up, talking about his foot.
Right.
And I can go out there and occupy a double team. Like, that carries a lot of weight.
And you got to love a guy like that, right?
Yeah.
Pure grit. Like, that's something that's, I think, in modern, not even just the NFL, but modern sports in general, man, you get guys taking off weeks or veteran rest or whatever you want to call it. And then you got guys like Kenny that's like, hey, if I can walk, I can play, give me the shot. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to engage in the two, right? He just laid a couple of them too. Just get you off the spot, man.
Yep. Coach Lynn says, I want defensive ends that can also play the run first and foremost. Amen. And to me, if you were to say, all right, you were to ask, what is LVN's strength? To me, it's the running game. Like, we just showed you. There was far more clips of him playing the run and shedding multiple blockers to make the tackle. And it kind of feels like there was emphasis on that, in terms of the coaches and that, that part of his game. But don't get me wrong, I want him to collapse the pocket too, but I'm with you, Coach. Like, when you shut down a team's running game and you force them to beat you through the air, and you got Xavier McKinney back there patrolling, and you got Edgerrin Cooper scrape blitzing and things like that and attacking the flats, and I like your chances. I really do. Really, really do. There was somebody else in here that they had a comment. I can't remember if I marked it or not. But I think it was Solder that said it. If I can find it. Wasn't that one that's marked? It's probably on up. Somebody said, I want to give credit to whoever. Yeah, here we go. He said, there's a reason why they have a new defensive line coach. Yeah, it's something I keep forgetting about. And we done one of our most popular videos we done on the channel. If you guys want to go check it out, it's a really, really good write-up. It's Coach Covington's breakdown, right? You'll see it on, if you scroll down on our YouTube homepage, it's one of the more popular videos. You'll see a picture of him on it. I keep forgetting about that because after we got through with that, I'm like, man, I'm really excited to see this dude just be a positional coach. That's what he's excelled at. Obviously he wasn't a good defensive coordinator his 1 year that he got a chance to do it, but really, really good.
You know what that means, though? If he didn't excel as a defensive coordinator, that's somebody that if you like what he's doing, you can get him locked in maybe for a couple of years without him worrying about, wanting to go up there. If, hey, it didn't work out for him, some people are just meant to be, a linebacker, D-line coach, whatever it is. You don't need to all be, DCs. If he loves it, then that's all that matters.
Yeah. H.E. Solder says that the Packers can play with the lead in big games. They have the tools to pressure top offenses. And that's what we've seen firsthand in Tennessee.
Yep.
Like, they jumped up to a 2-score lead.
That was fun.
Yeah.
How many sacks did we get?
7, I think.
7 or 8? Come on now.
Yeah, I'll never forget. I told Mandy, we were sitting there watching the game, and I'm not sure where Emilio was at the time, but
I was right next to you. Come on now.
I was a couple Captain Morgan's deep.
You were sure you were.
I looked at Mandy and I said, one more score and we could turn the dogs loose. Just one more score.
And he ran up the stairs and came back down with 2 Jack and Cokes in his hand. He said,
the slushy, the icy, the cherry icy. I'll never forget that, man. Clayton, your boy Clayton don't drink a lot. It's something that I'm very aware of. I'm very addiction runs in my family. It's just we come from a wild bunch. What can I say? So I'm very, very cautious with that. But that day we turned it loose, and I'll tell you, Tim, we got a lot of sauce in the system and didn't go to the restroom one time, but it was hot. It was 92 degrees out there. I smelled like a liquor cabinet.
I was going to say, you don't have to go to the restroom when you're sweating it all out all the time, right?
Yeah. And I'll tell you this too. If you guys don't believe me, go find it. Just type in on our channel, Packers Titans. All right. And you should be somewhere around there. It's the day after the game. Okay. So you'll see our post-game show. And then the very next episode will be the next morning in the hotel room, us doing the show. Your boy sounded rough. Rough. I hear in the comments, I see in the comments making stink of it, and I'm going, it ain't that bad. And I listened back on the way home. I went, whoa, that was ugly. Mama would not be proud. So
Miss Green called it out right here. Jack and Coke. Now you got to get those Green and Gold Rush drinks.
Oh yeah,
dude, those things. Me and Caven, we just went off. We were like, all right, we're going to the bar. We grabbed 2, 4, some maybe 6. That was a good time.
That was Hinterland, right?
Yeah, Hinterland. Yep.
Yeah.
I actually just went through those pictures. My phone just got destroyed, right? So I'm trying to airdrop them back over and across. Those pictures came right back up. I was like, dude, that was. I'm glad I saved them because great time. And yeah, those Gold Rush, man, that got us going Sunday. That got me going Sunday.
Tim, how underrated is Hinterland as a restaurant, man? Oh, that's a good little spot.
Extremely underrated. I think
that pizza.
Yeah,
dude, pizza was good. The cheese curds are the best. I'm sorry. I love 1919 Kitchen and Tap. I talk about their cheese curds all the time, but they got redheaded cheese curds at Hinterland. I think they put paprika or something in it.
Yes.
God,
my favorite curds over that way are Hinterland and then Stadium View for sure. If you're near Lambeau, but yeah, man, off the chain. I think it's underrated because you go into Hinterland, you get the atmosphere, right? They got the really nice seating areas. You got the fireplaces, good vibes. Perfect. But do not sleep on that Stonefire pizza and
please do not.
Awesome.
Yeah. My favorite thing to do, we'll be going up in December this year. I'm almost positive. Mandy wants to go to the Vikings game in November, but I want to wait till December and go to the Bears game. But what we do is we stay all week up there, and we stay at Lodge Kohler. And one day out of the week, we will set aside 3 hours. We put the bibs on, and we're all bundled up, and we go out there. We get us a cup of coffee, and we just sit by the ice skating ring and watch everybody bust their ass the whole time. It is, I'm telling you, it's better than anything on cable television.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get cold enough, you go in there, sit next to the fireplace in Hinterland, get you some food, ready to go, man.
Yep.
United Bates, parents and I loved Hinterland. Pizza was great. It's a solid spot.
Right.
Really.
Absolutely.
If you guys have never been, let me just paint you a picture and we'll wrap up here. Hinterland, when you walk in, there's a fireplace at the end of each at each end of the room. It's like this big dining hall. I guess you call it a dining hall. The bar runs adjacent against the wall, and you've got those 2 huge fireplaces, right?
Yep.
It's right outside of the sledding hill. And when you walk in, man, it's just, what is it? A big moose in the corner, big stuffed moose. It's just, it feels like you walk into
like a Northwoods Lodge for sure.
Right. Walk in on the left, you got the brewery stuff behind glass over there, and then it's got a second story you can go up to, kind of look down on everything. It's cool.
Go up to that second floor that most people don't know about. Clean bathroom up there.
That's actually, I did do that. No, you're right. I did do that. No line either. I was.
I was like, "Where'd Emilio go?" And I think Jordan said he went upstairs. I think he had to use the restroom. Oh, I gotta go.
That's important to remember too. On a game day or even game weekend, that Hinterland's going to fill up quick. For sure.
All right, this show sucks.
It does.
Not as much as the Bears, though.
Anything else, boys? Anything at all?
Nothing.
All right, let's get out of here. Appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys and gals were absolutely awesome. Hit that like button for us. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Check out some of the other content we got going out. Also, the best way to support what we do here is to join our Patreon group, patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access. However, if you're not familiar with Patreon, you just want to be a member here on YouTube, go ahead and hit that join tab. Get that done today. Everybody who's a member on YouTube and a member in our Patreon community will be entered into the giveaway. We're going to be putting everybody's name on the wheel, spinning it, and giving away an autographed Kingsley and Igbare rookie card. Really cool piece of memorabilia from our buddy Rick Kruger, who donated those to the show. We got a bunch of them coming up here too. This isn't going to be the only giveaway. We got a Luke Musgrave autographed rookie card. Actually, we've got 2 of those. We got a Dontavion Wicks, 2 Dontavion Wicks autographed rookie cards. We got a Josh Jacobs. We got 3 Josh Jacobs jersey cards. 4. We got a bunch of stuff in the hopper. Marshawn Lloyd autographed rookie card. A Jordan Morgan autographed rookie card. A couple of those. We got all kinds of good stuff here, man. So, guys, make sure you just join and get yourself entered into those giveaways. So, again, thanks everybody in the chat. Y'all are awesome, man. It's so fun getting here and talk football with y'all. We will see you tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, unless something changes. I'm going to be going to a baseball game either tomorrow or the next day, but I'll let everybody know. I'm hoping I can do it Saturday, so maybe I can do an earlier pod Saturday, earlier live show, and make sure that we keep the daily content going out. So, as always, everybody, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. Go Pack.
There we go.
Bye, guys.